Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for using the chat box as we were spending a few moments allowing individuals to come into the room. I am Cassandra Lee, past district director for District 103 Toastmaster, and as I would like to call a forever senior advisor to the district because of my past district director role. And I am very pleased to have you with us this afternoon with our D103 Senior Advisor webinar series. Some of you have been with me before for previous sessions. You know that the sessions each time that are offered on a variety of topics. Some of the topics are for membership in general. Other topics are for club leadership specifically. And then there are still some other topics that I tend to cover in the Senior Advisor webinar series that is dedicated to district leadership. Yet what you'll find with all of the topics that are offered with the Senior Advisor webinar series is the fact that you can use it as a member of all the clubs you belong to, and you can also use it for any leadership position you hold inside and outside of your club. Today, we're going to have a special session that gives me the opportunity to feature one of our trainers from our summer TLI. District 103 held a summer TLI in June of 2020. I'm pausing because I'm thinking, wow, we're already in a new year. June 2020 was when we held the summer TLI. There were a few different workshops that were offered, and many members who said they did not get a chance to attend all of those workshops. Therefore, over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see me featuring those trainers from the summer TLI and the actual content they taught at that summer TLI. Today gives me an opportunity to bring to you Dushun Mosley. Dushun Mosley taught the Free Toast Host workshop. That Free Toast Host topic, I tell you, people wanted to know. They were asking for the recording. Many individuals are using Free Toast Host in their clubs, and then there are many clubs that are not using it at all. I think what you will find from Dushun's passion of the topic, he is going to present you ideas that will allow you to understand better what Free Toast Host is, in addition to allowing you to have information that you can use in all of the roles that you have, meaning you can be a president, a secretary, a VPM, a vice president of public relations, a secretary, and a VPE, even sergeant at arms, and find that the Free Toast Host website is a valuable tool for you and your club. Now, many of you know Dushun. You may have seen him attend meetings at your club because he was either an area governor or a Pathways ambassador in the beginning of Pathways. Now he's serving as a Pathways guru for District 103, specifically focusing in on helping clubs of the South Division of District 103 to really engage with using Pathways. He is also a club ambassador chair, I should say the club ambassador chair for District 103. You may find he'll slip that into the conversation today about visiting other clubs and make certain you keep track of those visits when you visit other clubs, because that's what the District 103 Club Ambassador Program allows you to do. And that is visit other clubs, absorb that information, and use it for your benefit. Many of you have visited other clubs that do have a Free Toast Host website. Every club tends to use it differently. Today, you'll find some tips and tricks that will help you to be able to use the Free Toast Host website for your club. And I like to say for for the personality of your club. For the personality of your club. Because again, every club is different and every club tends to use it in a way that's complementary to the personality of their club. So listen to what Dushun has to share with you. He will engage you in conversation as he goes along the way. We will have Q&A. I had you immediately using the chat box, which gave him an idea on how to make certain you can get from this program what he intended. And also it gave him an idea if there was something you wanted that is not in your content, he'll be able to address it. As I said, Q&A will be happening along the way. I'll follow his cue on when he wants those asked and answered. And of course, I say feel free to always use the chat box along the way, because if I see something that comes up and it's coming up frequently, I'll pause him and ask him to answer those questions for you. Without further ado, and I should say with one final housekeeping note, remember that this is being recorded. Therefore, any of your questions, your image, and all of that will be on file for us and a part of our history with this program. Therefore, if you don't feel comfortable asking questions, that's all right. If you need to privately chat me, then that is okay as well. I'll simply know that as we're moving forward with this being recorded, that I do honor that. Yet most importantly, I thank you again for being with us and for allowing us to record this for the sake of education and history later, and for the moment that we're in right now. I am going to officially turn the floor over to Dushun Mosley, our presenter for the day with Free Toast Host Workshop. Free Toast Host Workshop, Distinguished Toastmaster, Dushun Mosley.
Thank you. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you very much. I know everybody has to be asking the question, what is Free Toast Host? And that's a very good question, because the words don't really make a lot of sense. I've got the word free in there. I kind of know what that is, although we can never be free with gravity. But free, then the next word is toast. So I would imagine it's something to eat, and then host. So is this kind of a new breakfast dish or something that we might have, Free Toast Host? No, what it is, it's a Toastmaster interface. This is not Toastmasters, it's a Toastmasters interface. And it works really, really interesting. I like the way it works because it gives you a lot more information than you ever had before. If you were ever a VPE or a VPM or the secretary or the VPPR, you had to gather and keep a lot of information at the beginning of the year, and you tried to keep it all through the year. For instance, who's in our club? You have a list at the beginning for people to sign in. Remember that? Yeah. Who's doing the speeches? Oh, that's great. How do I introduce them? What speech are they on? How does all this work? In the club calendar, I can have a club calendar to show all the kinds of things I can do throughout the year, that my organization will do throughout the year. I can email everybody in my club an email to tell them how to work Free Toast Host, or really how to, the fact that they have to go ahead and come to our meeting. I don't have to keep that list, the list that we keep, the list that we've got a roster from, and the roster is how old? Oh my goodness, that one. So it's got a lot of good information in it. It helps clubs attract new members, and it operates very efficiently. It keeps all members informed. It allows different people, like I said, the VPPR, the VPM, the VPE, the secretary, and the president to keep in contact with their members. So what you're going to see in a few minutes, and I'll tell you, you can ask questions anytime you like to. I'm happy to stop. I don't want to go all the way through and start talking about a half an hour later. Laurel, where are you going? Laurel is a good friend of mine. She thinks she's going someplace, but she better come back. Okay. I'll tell you that, Laurel, because I know where you live.
I'm here.
That's right.
I'm here.
Yeah, she knows I know where she lives. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go through some of the slides. I'm going to go through some slides, but I'm going to go through the actual site. So we're going to see quite a few things as we go through here. And I'm also going to stop showing my face because I know you're probably tired of seeing that already. So I'm going to come out. Well, maybe I'll leave it up there. Who knows? This is the webinar series, and I love the scene. could you please mute everyone? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was um, that was just a test to see if the speakers were working. No, that was a mistake. Free Toast Host 3, 1, 2, 3. They started back in 2004. And so this is the third version of them. We're going to be talking about what to do from the beginning until the end. I noticed that Cassandra asked you at the beginning, what were you here for? And we've had a certain people who are here to learn more things to do with Free Toast Hosts. Some people going like, Free Toast Host, is that a piece of toast? What is that? And then we got different kinds of people. So we're going to look over this. We're going to look at the first things first, just like you've never seen it before. You're a brand new club, how to get in it. Then we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about applying for your site, because that's what you have to do before you move on. Setting up your site. So we'll look at what the administrator is going to do. We look at membership management, and then at the end, we'll look at some cool stuff. And definitely there'll be questions. And once I get started, please don't feel like you don't have to ask me any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions. So to begin with, this is what you've got to do. One thing, if you're a brand new club, or if you're a club that's been around for a while, especially if you're a club that's been around for a while, go to Toastmasters International and find out if your club is set up right. They've got the right people who are in office. They've got the right address, post office address. You might even make sure that you have your link or your meeting IDs in, make sure everything is perfect. And you go there by going to this spot setting, saying support Toastmasters Club org .doc. Now, I know you're saying, boy, I can't keep all this information in. I'm going to send you a link before this is over with all this, with this whole slideshow inside of it. And then you can just get the link and click inside the slideshow. But make sure that your club is set up right. They gotta, get the officers in there, things like that. So that's the first thing. And that's what this first link is going to do. It's going to allow you to go and do that setup. Now, as I transfer from link to link, I'm going to have to stop the share, of course, and let you see it, and then we'll come back up again. So I'm going to stop the share real quick here, and we're going to come right back in this puppy again, and hopefully uh, it should be coming up pretty soon. There it is. So you see something like this on that first link. And it's nothing but making sure your club information is updated and going well. And everything is good. So make sure that your contact information is on there. You see something that looks very, very much like this. And you go in and you make sure everything is okay. Simple as that. That's the first step. Make sure your information is out there. The next step is that you want to go and take and make sure that it was slipping again. And we're going to make sure that that not only are we set up correctly, but there's a quick start page. And this quick start page is really a cool page. This is the coolest page of it all, because when you get here, this shows you how you can go ahead and start this whole Free Toast Host business. We're going to go here, and of course I'm going to slip out because everything's not on the internet. So I'm going back and forth here. Yes, I am. And we'll pick up that guy as soon as it comes up. It comes around. Let's see if we can pick it up now. Okay, so that's the quick start page. The quick start page is only one page long, but what it tells you is this: what to do before you begin. Like I said, make sure your information is right. But you're going to have to go in and apply for a site. And that applying for the site is at this website address, toastmastersclubs.org. Welcome. When you go there, there's no activation necessary, but when you go there, this is where you apply for the site. Now, once you apply for the site, it may take a day or so before they make sure everything's okay and you're set to go. So just because you apply for the site doesn't mean that at the time that you apply for the site, it's going to happen immediately. No, it's going to happen, after they check you out and make sure everything looks right. And this is a Free Toast Host request a website page. As you can see on this page, that they give you some information about what Free Toast Host is and how it's changed, and now how it's introduced a lot of things in for pathways. And you fill out this form. You know, easy. Just read the form, your club number, your name, your email address, and you put that information in, and you submit a request. And in a day or two, voila, you'll get a request back saying you are ready to go. What do you think? You think y'all can do that? Yeah. Okay. Has anybody done this before?
Good. I see Zyla Dushun says she has, and I
Yes.
put in the question in the chat box a question for you to know who has a website already. So there are some
Okay.
responses that are coming in. Attorney Chelsea, I believe it is, says that yes, they have a site. Klawana says no, they don't have a site. Marin
Okay.
does say yes, they have a site. Pamela saying
Mhm.
yes. Laurel says
Mhm.
she thinks so. So you're getting some responses in
I'm
there.
getting some.
Uh, yeah, Dr. T, Calvin both say yes, their
Yes,
club
they
have
have.
sites.
They're pros. Some of those guys are pros. And Laura, I have a fight with her soon after the meeting, but that's another scene. Okay, so fill out the information, Laurel. If you didn't have it already, just go ahead and fill this out, and go ahead, and you'll be surprised. You'll get your approval to move forward. All right. Hey, I'm glad some people got some stuff up. Now comes the easy part. It might be easy, but it might be a little difficult. You can look at different sites. And I like to look at different sites because looking at different sites allows me to get an idea of what I want our site to be, what you want your site to be. So look at different sites. But listen, in the brand portal in Toastmasters, you can go to look at website templates, and you can find a template that you like and then maybe apply one of those templates if you like them. You know, but we're going to look over different kinds of templates, and we're going to have the I'll give you the opportunity to go ahead and build your own. It gives you the opportunity to build your own too. So let me go over it. Apply for the site. There, you got that. No activation necessary. You got approved by email in a day or so. And then to make sure that your site is even there, you want to how many people know their Toastmasters Club number? If you know it, put it in the chat. Let me see. Put it in the chat. Let me see that Toastmasters Club number. That's right, Calvin. Put it on in chat. Dr. T, we already know yours, right? 708-793 BLT. Okay.
That's Reverend Dr.
uh,
Tina. Reverend
oh,
Dr.
Reverend Dr. Tina.
Yeah.
Reverend Dr. Tina. Okay. I don't know hers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this power circle.
Mm-hmm. It's Power Circle. Okay. So you know that.
You know me, Dushun.
I know. I know of you.
Uh-huh. I will leave that
Notorious.
alone today. It's Sunday.
Notorious Dr. T. Dr. Tina. Marvelous, marvelous minister. She can speak the word. She'll make you, yeah. She'll drive COVID out of you if you got it. All you gotta do is call Dr. T. She'll straighten you out. Now, I want to try this. I never thought about this before. This means that I can go out if I just know a Toastmasters club's number. I just type in their number and type toastmastersclubafter.org, and I go there. I do not believe that. How many has done this before? Am I the only one that is trying to figure out how that really works? I mean, I don't think I've really done that before. Has anybody ever done that? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Let me get a club number. Okay, I obviously have got this all rigged up. So I'll type in 771. Even comes up 880. See, because I don't know how to spell Wayo, and I didn't know if this said Wayo or Rayward Ashford, Overcomers, whatever. But it came up with 771-880. And when I type that in there, Toastmasters clubs, what happens? Whoa, up comes the website. Now, I like this website. Obviously, I've been dealing with it for a long time. And I just want to talk about a few things that are on it. First thing is that yellow stuff at the top, well, that's a banner. Banner changes every 2 weeks. Whatever our VP thinks that she would like to change it. And this one is a good one because it talks about join for $59 for 6 months investment. Can't beat that, right? But it's also colorful. Look at the rest of the site. Now, hey, this comes to your imagination, your VP PR, your VPE, your president, your VPM. Hey, you've got to come up with some ideas of how it's supposed to look. Look at this purple stuff. You know, purple is power. But you come up with this yourself. You change the fonts. You put whatever you want to in there on the side. You get you get a a main menu that comes with your screen. And some of these things were added in later on. But you'll see a main menu there. Home would be there. Meeting information, directions will be there. Contact us will be there. And certain those kinds. Your club calendar would be there. Meet our members would be there. But you know, it's at the bottom of this, right with Asteroid Overcomers, added more information. Welcome back, come back, hope you come back. Don't want to see you no more. No, maybe that's not it, but Wayo club photos, Wayo DCP, all this kind of good stuff is in there, right? We added that in there. But some of these things came with the product. It's got a lot more other stuff in there too. The logons come with it. You can log in as a site administrator, which I'm going to do in a few minutes. Then you can have social media links. We've got Facebook links and YouTube links, and those things are in there. Pretty nice things to have. And this bottom part is kind of interesting too. Everybody sees this when they get into Free Toast Host. They never click on it. Go to Toastmasters podcast, guys. It's got a lot of good stuff inside of it, and along with their online magazine. So, oh my goodness, what are these guys doing? Look at all this stuff. How did all that stuff get in there? She put it in there. She added the slides. She added the photos. She added all this. And down at the bottom of this is the template part. Find your voice, a wonderful thing. I don't know, back a long time ago, we used to have pamphlets out there for Find Your Voice. Remember, some of you used to print it out and give it to people as they came in the door. How will you benefit? Remember those little pamphlets we used to have? I know Ivory remembers it because he used to give them away. Because he didn't want to take them home. He had boxes of it. He still has boxes of it, probably in his garage. I'm talking about you, Ivory. That's right. So,
go through all of it.
And so these are the kinds of things you can go and look at and have your people come and look at if they're interested in a club. I think that's really nice. Well, that just kind of gives you information. We've got some pictures out there, but I got to tell you, I'm going to log on as a site administrator because this is the thing that I think that you want to have. To log on as a site administrator, 771-880. I just have to put my club number in there, and then I'm going to secretly shucks. Hold on, because I will forget this thing in a heartbeat. We're going to see what this is. Let me see if this works. If not, I'll be contacting. Okay, hold on. I'll get this right. 0202
03.
Okay, take control of my screen and please type that in for me. Just take control of the screen. Sorry about that. A little glitch with the fingers there. I tell you, being a computer geek all my life, you know, I never learned how to type. Never. And look, I got in the field when there were keyboard operators. punch punch card operators, where you, in order to write your program as a programmer, you had to get on it, and key everything in on, and punch cards. And I never learned how to type. And I write code all the time. It's craziness. I can't believe it. So I'm in there as administrator, and on this console, when you get in, they've got a lot of good things. This is what you're going to see. Here at the top, you'll see select a module, and we're going to go through some of those modules on this in this lesson plan. But for the basic setup, we can have basic settings, the way that you saw all those nice pretty colors and everything show up on the screen, your home page, how that looks, meeting information, social links if you've got them, that floater message, that little yellow thing at the top that we say join before a certain time and you only pay a certain amount of money, access settings, all kinds of good stuff. So I'm just going to take this first one, this basic settings, and just kind of talk a little bit about it. Hey, you put your club name in here. You put your description in. All this you need to do yourself. Who needs to be there with you? Who needs to be there with you, you think? If you're the VPM, who needs to be here with you? Anybody? You just do it yourself, huh? Well, some people do it, but don't you need like president, VPPR, VPM to get some of this information for you? Hey, how about your webmaster? Do they need to know some of these keywords? These keywords are important because people might type in a keyword and they could come right to your website because that's what you want them to do. So this kind of information is really important, and we should probably have more keywords on ours. We have a web alias, which is WAYO. So you don't have to type in that 771-880 if you don't know it. You can just go with the WAYO. Want to make sure that you are at the right club time and zone. Some people forget about this. And I think this goes to, it doesn't go to Central Standard Time. It doesn't go to Pacific Standard Time. It may go to Eastern Standard Time, but make sure that that's changed. Preferred format that you like to, the short format that you want to, just real simple things. And at the bottom of this, you'll notice at the bottom of every one of these screens, it's save. Once you make some changes, save, and save often. If you're like me, a computer geek, am I right, Ansonia? You save as many times as you want to, because any moment now, this thing may go down. Okay. Let me go back in there again. So that was the basic settings. You can change the way it looks, the way your screen looks. The banner setting at the top, you can make different kinds of settings to it, center it and make it from left to right. This kind of information is basic information that you would have if you were in Word or WordPerfect or whatever you're using to your word processor. Those menu links on the side that I talked to you about, here they are here. I'm allowing them to all show. Some people don't want them all to show. They don't want you to see the member downloads and the member protege request form and they don't want you to see the free resources and the private member directory. It depends on what you want people to see when they come to your site. Once you do all that, of course, you want to go ahead and hit close or save. You can make the sizes larger or smaller. All of this calls for who? The VPPR. Yeah. Okay. The home page. How is it supposed to look? What is I can make things bigger and smaller. And yes, guys, you can center it, make it bigger, smaller, change the styles, change the format, change the fonts, put anything in there your little heart desires. You see, we have a lot of stuff in here. We're telling exactly how it, what's going on. Oh, we even have a picture. Oh yeah, you can put a picture in there. I've had pictures changing up every week, just about every week, maybe every month. I don't know, my picture doesn't show up there though. I don't understand that. I think my picture should show up, I mean, what the heck? But it doesn't. When you get done, you can close it. Meeting information and directions. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these guys because we don't really have enough time, but I just wanted to let you know that there's a lot of places that you need to go. You need to go ahead and check out some of these places that is the meeting information directions. Some people will take this and put inside the fact of their list to go to Zoom if they want to. You can put in your social media links. We have one going to Facebook link for us and YouTube link that we have. Go in and do these things. Who knows all this stuff? Does the VPE know it all? Does the VPPR know it all? Does the VPM know it all? Does the president know it all? No. So what's going to happen is you're going to get around in circles and talk about some of the stuff now that you know it's here. And then you can go ahead and put it in. Floater messages. Oh, this is just perfect for those, for our treasurer. Yeah, our treasurer needs to know some of this stuff, right? Because the treasurer's going to try to tell you what? When dues are due. Okay. Our VPE is trying to tell you, get in pathways. Our VPM is going to try to tell you, ask you, do you need help? All these kinds of things. So access settings, the administrator info, website stats, all of this, you can go ahead and choose any of them you want, or choose none of them, but you can choose any you want to. At the first time, it may be a little overwhelming. I'll tell you right now, it's going to take you 3 or 4 hours to set this up. So you want to have somebody to share your hot milk with while you're working on this, or hot toddy with, whatever, which one makes you excited. One of those.
Hey,
Okay.
Dushun. Hey, Dushun, there's a question that came in. Do you want
Yes.
to answer that right now?
Yes.
Or should I hold?
Let me answer it, because if it's about this, yes.
Okay. How do seekers find this page? Sheila Jones would like to know that. How do seekers find this page?
That's a good question. Well, they need to go to Toastmasters International and find and search in their area or out of the area for that particular, any clubs. And once they find that club, right there in Toastmasters International, they will be able to get that, the club's member ID. And remember, all I did was type the club member ID in there and then type toastmastersclub.org. Remember that? That's how I can get to there. That's how they would get there. Okay. Membership management. That was website settings. Membership management is kind of neat, because in membership management, it's a lot of stuff. Look at this. In membership management, I get a chance to keep track of all my members. Yeah, because you know why? Because I want to be able to send them emails. And I get a nice list. Well, you know where this is at, guys. We have it on your rosters. Where's the rosters at? You know where that's at. That's in Toastmasters International. Get a copy of that. You set it down in the meeting that you're going to go ahead and start typing these puppies in. You start right here at the new side. You start typing it in, and you just go all the way down. As you can see, we have everybody in here, along with what? Their email addresses. How did I get the email addresses? Well, they gave them to me. Oh, no, it's in the roster from Toastmasters International. You can go ahead and put in information about the officer roles. Now, you can't make up roles. I'll tell you, I don't think Joke Masters, it might be here, but you just can't make up roles. But the major roles that you might have for the people that are there, go ahead and put them in there. And you could edit all this. This is good stuff, because these people are going to get what? Man, they're going to get the emails that you need to send them. Look, I get to build this by groups, by contacts, by mentors, by mentees, dues not paid. Yeah, hey, secretary, treasurers, I can keep track of all that. Yes, it's also kept in Toastmasters International, but hey, you keep a little listing of yourself. And I know some of you have been trying to keep this in your own little spreadsheets. Stop that. It's here. All right. Now, of course, when the year changes, you have to go through and make some changes back here again. But I think it's all worth it. It's all worth getting into and trying to do some of this stuff. Oh, look, guest. I know some people ask, especially back in the day. Even now, I have a new person coming in. I know they're a guest. So why not put them on the contact list, on this contact information? Because when they come into my meeting, guess what? They show up as a guest, and I don't have to ask them the ridiculous question, who in the heck are you? Who invited you here today? I'm going to ask that question anyway, but they show up as a guest. Boom, they're in. If you know that's going to happen, especially if you have guest speakers. You know what? They even keep track of former members. And boy, this list is long here. So at the end of the year, people who leave, hey, you keep track of them. So former members, affiliates, I can add anything I want to. And listen, I can make my own little website. Look at this. I can make a nice little a page that gives a message to brand new members. So I got a brand new member in there. We just voted them in. Or did I say that we just voted them in? I'm saying it again. Did we just voted them into our club and they're brand new members? And now we're going to send them a welcome message and tell them how to get on this site. Isn't that nice? New member welcome. Okay, I'm going to slow down right here because I know your head's just spinning. Do you think you could use something like this? How can you use something like this? Are you doing something like this, manually? Sandra, could you please read those for me?
There right now are none coming in. Would you like for them to put their responses
Yes,
in?
I would love for you to put them in there. I would love for.
Which question would you like for them to answer?
I will.
Question?
Are you doing some of these functions now by hand or by a spreadsheet? Keeping track of your old members, former members, prospects, guests. I'm going to tell you right now, you need to move to the year 2000.
Okay, there are some responses coming in, Dushun, and here's some of the comments thus far. Laurel says that they track prospects on FreeToastHost. Calvin is doing most of the functions via FreeToastHost. Zyla says that they're corporate clubs, so they're doing it by hand because they don't advertise on the internet. Marin says the new VPN, the process can be revisited. And then Sheila says by email. Pamela says by spreadsheet. Kluwana also says by spreadsheet. I was also about to add in a combination of both. For WAO, we do guests by spreadsheet, former members through FreeToastHost. And I think those are the comments thus far.
Okay. So some people are using, the antiquated method now, but some people aren't. Some people are using some of these methods. But listen, it's all in FreeToastHost. I'm thinking about, what is this? This is a fantastic product. This is a fantastic product, guys. I mean, don't you think so? I think so. I'm not going to save it. I'm going to keep going on. I have some more website settings. And here's some email contact forms. So I can go ahead and make sure that everybody gets emailed the same thing. I know that you have your list of email addresses and you're copying and pasting your email addresses in. That's what we mostly do. But you can let this go ahead and keep track of that. Of course, when they change or move, they have to go ahead and let me know. All right, so there's quite a few things. You can have custom web pages. You can file manager. File manager is kind of an interesting piece because, a lot of people, like I've got literally bags and stuff here. Ivory has a whole office full of stuff. Oh God, he's got stuff. And he's got a whole garage full of stuff. Just put some of this stuff in this website. Man, look at this. You can put all your guest packets in there, your Toastmasters promise in there. Look who's getting certified in there. Add awards here, bios there, club officers reports here. The all kinds. You could have been putting them in club FreeToastHost, District 30 stuff, District 103 stuff, free Kwanzaa stuff. Look at this. What is all this stuff? It's not in my pocket. Well, actually, it is in my pocket. It's sitting, but it's all here. So people can go and look. The minutes for our meetings, goodness, what kind of stuff is this? All this stuff can be put here. You can do this yourself, right? Why not? Why not look at this and take a good look at it and say, hey, yeah, maybe I should do some of this stuff. Why not? This was all in here before. Yeah, that's kind of always been around, right? So that's the file management side. Then you get a chance to look at the meeting agenda settings. Now we're going to go to another place to really deal with this, but I want to check this meeting agenda settings out here. The meeting agenda settings, and I hope you guys can see this. Hope you're seeing me changing these screens. It should be changing. So the agendas, you get to select the template. And I would suggest that you have different templates. You have different templates for when you have a all speech meeting, or you have guests in there that you want to have, or you have a combined meeting, you have different agendas. So you have different templates out there. And so what you do is you can go ahead and select any one you want to. Oh, my goodness, what are these guys doing? They have educational workshops. They have speech contests. They have speeches with 3 CC speeches. Well, back in the day when CC speeches were around. Now that's gone. A new member orientation, breakfast. Look, look at all the different kinds of templates that you can have. Who built them? I'm not going to say who built them. I'm gonna keep that underneath my belt. But somebody built those templates. They were easy to build. But when the next VPE comes along and you do some of the same things you did last year, or next VPE goes to another club or something like that, hey, the new VPE can come in, look at the templates, and go ahead and you keep business as normal. You see, the templates is to keep a standardized way that you communicate with your people. You can have standardized start time, where the meeting is at. I think so we entered the virtual Zoom meeting, that kind of stuff. And, you can have themes. Now, I've got to say this is at the bottom of this, and I'll show you this in another setting too. I want you to pay attention to this. Here, as we go down, we could put the agenda title name, but down at the bottom here, it says agenda item assigned durations. So you can go ahead and assign your durations. And guess what? When a FreeToast host comes in, what it's going to do is that it's going to add up all your duration times, and it'll tell you, hey, that meeting you laid out is only going to last 20 minutes, or that meeting you laid out is going to last 2 hours. You better start cutting down those minutes yourself, because it's keeping track of it. There's very little space on the inside. So as a good project manager or as a good manager, you look and see that you got a 5 to 7 and you got a 5 to 7 speech. But what happens after? You got 1 minute of silence. Then what happens after that? Then you've got the next speaker coming up, but they're going to be introduced, and then it's going to be shenanigans. So you take, a speaker may take 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes. So put the durations in here. Make sure these are checked. This is a role for which members can sign up. This is a speech. Select a manual or add intro. Speaker should have an intro. I want to be introduced like I was introduced today. I love that. I thought my band was going to come out and start to play after she introduced me. It was such a nice intro. That doesn't happen with FreeToastHost. They don't do the band thing. Me and Gallagher, Laurel's husband, will do it for you. So you want the roles to appear on the printed meeting agenda? Yes, you do. You want them to come out. So I would say those first 3, you at least need those selected. What happens if you don't have the second one selected? Then what that stops you from being able to do is that if a person doing the pathway speech, we don't know what speech they're doing. I don't get a chance to see, have an option there for my evaluator to go ahead and push the button so they can get their evaluation. I don't get a chance to see what the intro is. So you want all 3 of those actually pushed. Now, it's not all pushed here because in each of the agendas, we have a way that the same questions asked for each agenda, but you can go ahead and do this globally. Those first 3, I would say, personally, you want to have. Ignore the role for historical reports. If you want to do that, person assigned to this role can edit this meeting agenda. I wouldn't allow them to do that, but depends on what your club is. If you're a downtown club or a corporate club, you might allow people to do those kinds of shenanigans. Okay, so that's the whole thing about this. So where in the heck am I at right now? I'm in the site administration. That's where I'm at. And I can see all this stuff, small, medium, and large. I didn't choose. I just, the default is medium. But so what you're seeing is you can see this a lot bigger. If you're going to have it on a big screen at one of the large companies, you can go ahead and have people come to it. Okay, look, we got member messages. We got messages for non-members. You got messages for members. You've got information that you can put in here, guys. You need your VPPR. You need your VPM. You need your VPE to help you do this. Unless you've got a person that's very talented that can do all this themselves. And in some clubs, they do. Okay. Any questions so far? That's a lot of stuff. Where I was at was in, I was a site administrator and I had to know that information. And if it wasn't for the real site administrator, I wouldn't have been able to get in there because I typed in the wrong password.
Hey, Dushun, there isn't a question yet. However, Klawana says a lot of information. Wow.
There is. And I'm gonna before everybody leaves, I'm gonna make sure they get the information they need to look at the handouts before it's
I
off.
have a question.
Yes.
Now, as a VPE, are there different sections for different people? The treasurer has a section, the VP has a section, the members have the membership, VP of membership has a section, and the secretary has a section? That
They don't necessarily have a section, but there's a place for each one of those roles to put their information is. Yes.
okay.
Yes. They don't have a section. Just, they have a place to put their information in that.
A feature. There's a feature. I think we would call it a feature, Ivory. But yes, you and Sonia are on the right track. Dushun and Sonia was mentioning as well in the chat box about the treasurer tools.
Oh yeah, there's treasure tools. Yes.
And that ties into what Ivory was saying. So all of the different club officers have certain features that give them access to various tools. And Sonia had mentioned in the chat box before, Dushun, that when she was the treasurer, she was able to use FreeToastHost for her treasurer role, which means she was accessing those different treasurer tools that are a part of FreeToastHost.
Yes. And that's a real powerful piece of it too. Yeah, the whole treasure, they have a whole section for that.
And here's a question that comes in from Sheila Jones again. Sheila asks, can I review this during an executive meeting? Is that appropriate?
Can you review what, the reports?
Or the FreeToastHost? I'm assuming the FreeToastHost site. Thanks, Sheila. I see Sheila nodding her head. Yes. She's saying, can she review the FreeToastHost website in an executive committee meeting?
Absolutely. Yes. That's where I do it at if I were you. Make those people do some work, make them do something else. Earn their living. Their weight in salt. Okay, so you just saw what I just did. If you didn't see what I just did, I chose meeting agendas. And now since I'm in meeting agendas, I get the chance to see the meeting agendas. Now, I've just flipped to the other side. I flipped to the other side where I'm out the administration console, and now I'm in the membership console, and I'm getting ready to do some work here now. Now, here's the agenda side to this. Here you see the agenda. All this stuff you see at the top, that was all set up where? In the administrative side, right? All this stuff, not all this stuff, some of the stuff was set up. The top of my website was. All this stuff you see here is going to be all set up on the agenda side. So let me just kind of show you how all this is done. Look at all this stuff. Look at these characters. What the heck? Man, these characters are, so, and some people have already signed up for stuff. Here, just before we go, those three boxes I showed you before, this is the reason why I wanted them to be there, because with pathways, you need to know what project a person's going to be in. Without that box being checked, it's like they're doing a manual speech, which we don't really have anymore. So they should be on a project, and I get to choose the evaluation form if I'm going to be the evaluator, because sometimes the evaluator signed up to be the evaluator, but they don't really know who they're evaluating. I don't know who does that. Okay, I do. I'm going to stop lying. But when you put this in here, the project description kind of shows up too. I don't know if you're going to see this because I just jumped over, but the project description shows up. I don't know if you see this section or not. You do see it? Okay, good. So the project description shows up. So if you're a brand new evaluator, this gives you a chance to see what the description of that particular project is, which is kind of neat. Yes. Okay. The speech introduction, you do want this in there. So you do want people to put in their speech introduction. If they don't know the difference between the speech introduction and the content of their speech, we need to talk about that. And we can save that information. They can come back and change this. Sometimes your VPE will put some information in there for you, and you need to go back and change it yourself based on what you need. People can sign up, right? I like this. People can sign up, and when they sign up, most of this information will show up for them. Look at the times they show up. You know why they show up? Because you say how long each of the speeches are. So don't forget, I'm looking at this one's 5 to 7 minutes. So this is 5 to 7 minutes. Don't forget, it's not a icebreaker speech for 2 to 3 or 4 to 5, whatever the case may be. So make sure that this time really shows to the time that you really need to have for the evaluators. How in the world do I change all this? Well, there's a couple ways. There's always a couple ways to do things, right? There's always a couple ways. One is that I can go to the back and change it, or I can change it right here. See this just gotta edit this member agenda. Well, I gotta tell you, not everybody can come in here and do this. If you're not the VPE or person duly designated to go in and make the agenda change, you won't be able to go in and do this, okay? Not everybody can go in and make this change. But I'm gonna make this change. I'm gonna edit this meeting agenda because I think I have the opportunity to do it. Yes, I do. So what you'd see in the back, this is for the meeting setup, you saw this before, is that my agenda setup, my meeting description, my agenda items, and my attendance. Well, let's go to the first one, agenda setup. What time does your meeting start? What time is your meeting? What day is your meeting? What kind of meeting are you going to have? Okay, I'm gonna lock this agenda, no. I'm gonna save this agenda as an agenda template, no, but I can. You see what happens here is that I can build an agenda template from another agenda, guys. Okay, you hear me? So I don't really know how to build one, but my last VPE did. And I gotta say, I use this personally. I didn't know, so I used somebody else's agenda and saved it as a new agenda and just kind of added things for myself. It's kind of neat, huh? Think that's kind of nice? I think it is. Nobody's amening me. Reverend, you're not gonna amen me? Thank you, Jesus, something. Okay, so Reverend Dr. Tina's not gonna say that. But she knows she does in real life. Any questions so far? This is just on the first little window, agenda setup. Agenda setup.
Well, Dushun, there is another question that has come in. Is not quite on the agenda setup. So it's regarding the format and the tabs and what we see on the left-hand side of the website. So I just want to give you a heads up that before we officially close out, if we would be able to answer that question. It's a question that comes in from Marin, and she's asking, do we know how some of the clubs are setting up their members only section as a tab to the right of the public pages menu, as opposed to a section underneath the members login links? And she did put a website link inside of the chat box. So I don't know if you want to address that right now, or if you want to come back.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. Thanks, Dr. Mary. We'll come back to that. Okay, so that's my agenda setup. And next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and look at the meeting description. The meeting description. Now remember, a lot of this stuff, a lot of this information at the top, this is for setting up and making the fonts and all this colors and putting in more information. Who are these guys? 11 times? Okay. All right, so as we go down through, we at the beginning, this is the page that I told you that you get a chance to change yourself, because you want to see this at the head of your agenda, right? When you get new people coming in, they don't know who you are. They don't know what you're doing. You got your club officers laid out there. We talk about how to get into our website. We have a club theme. You can put your club theme in there. You can change it around. You can say where you're located at. If you're not located any place, you can say, put in your meeting ID if you need to, if you'd like to do that. I'm not a big fan of that. But this was that first page that you saw. This is that first page that you saw for my agenda. And this gave me the meeting description. And you see, we have different colors, we have different fonts. So the agenda setup, overall agenda, the meeting description for this particular agenda, that's my meeting description. And here's the agenda items that I'm going to have on this agenda for this particular day. Here, since I've used a template, all of this information was already populated. Okay, when I say this information, if you know where I'm pointing, it says pre-meeting, pre-meeting, pre-meeting. That information was already pre-populated through a wizard or through a template. And we just use it again and again and again. Yeah, we typed all this kind of information in. Yeah, we typed all this information in. Into bottom, timer and general meeting evaluator, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Somebody typed it in. It wasn't me, but somebody typed all that information in. You're going to have to do it too if you want. And I know that some clubs say we don't need to type all the information in. Just say who's going to do the speech. Okay, but you don't know who's going to do the speech. So at this point in time, I'm not changing who's going to do a speech. I'm putting in the fact that since I'm the VPE. Oh, I forgot to say that. I'm the VPE. That's why I'm here. I'm not the secretary. I'm not the treasurer. I'm the VPE. That's who's doing that. I could do it if, you know, the VPE gets sick, but somebody else is doing that. And I get to go ahead and you get to go ahead and you get to put these different kinds of roles in. And if you don't have a role, what you do when you need to add a role, it's going to add at the end. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to add at the end, and you'll have to move them up or down in the agenda. Depends on what you want to do. It depends on where the sequence is at. I'm not going to show you how to do that now because I don't want to mess up the one that's there. But you move these up or down by clicking them up or down, and this whole side slides moves up or down. So you have the ability to change. If you make a mistake, you can move it up or down, or move them all the way up to the top, or wherever you need to have them all at.
Hey, Dushun, why don't you go ahead and click one of the sections you're referring to and show that it can be moved anywhere else, and then just drag it back.
Okay. Did it just move them up there? Did you see them just move them back down? So here it is. The president conducts the meeting. That's where I'm at. President conducts the meeting. Let me move them up. I keep on moving him up there. Is he moving up? President conduct the meeting? Yes, the answer is yes. Okay, is that moving back down? Moving back down to the right place? Is he back to the place he was at before? Hopefully so. If not, I'm definitely not gonna save it. You can better believe that. So you get in there, and then if you want to, you can get in there and make some changes. You can edit this item if you'd like to. So here, I can edit the items if I want to. I could go in and put in a different item agenda if I want to. I can put in the different times and minutes I have for any one of those people that I want to. So you got to play with this, guys. This is nothing that, you just want to get in there and just kind of look at one time and don't play with anymore. You got to get in there and you've got to kind of play with this a little bit.
Hey, Dushun, can you answer the question for Laurel? She noticed that in the descriptions, it talked about accessing cheat sheets. She says, how do you access the cheat sheets that she sees mentioned in the write-ups underneath the roles?
That's a good question, Laurel. We have in our club sheets that tell you how to do the roles. And that was located, if you come in as a member, we have a whole section for our members. They can go through, and it's called member downloads. And member downloads, this is a section that we put in there. It goes to the fact that we have a place for people to go ahead and pull up cheat sheets. Here's the scripts here, different kinds of things that you might want for the iconier, evaluator, grammarian, and that's the cheat sheets we're talking about. You have to add that in yourself. Remember I showed you that before a little bit early. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. Good question, Laurel. Hit that E flat for me. Okay. I'm not gonna play with Laurel anymore.
Hey, Dushun, and Sonia
yes.
has a question. She wants to know, where do you get them from the Toastmasters website?
Where did I get what?
The scripts, the cheat sheets, where do you get them from? The Toastmasters website?
Yes, yes. You can go to Toastmasters website. You can go to Toastmasters website and pull those down.
And that's now, and Sonia, before WAO was doing cheat sheets before 2019, which is when Toastmasters International came out with their own. So WAO has both the original ones we were using before any was created by International, and then the ones that said 2019 counter and 2019 timer, that sort of thing. Those are the ones that Toastmasters International put out a year or so ago. So you can pull those from International, but we have both on our site.
Mm-hmm. We put those in there ourselves. Yep. There's a lot. There's a lot. If you're just doing it for the first time, just get the simple one. If you're modifying it, hey, you just got to go in there, start clicking around and moving stuff around. That's so. Hey, now comes the time that I just want to talk about some kind of interesting things. In this agenda, as you can see, I'm talking to the secretary now, secretaries. All the way down at the bottom, you notice there's a place down here in FreeToastHost that allows you to create edit notes. Wouldn't this be a fantastic place to keep my meeting notes if I was the secretary? 15 people came, someone just asked this question. Would that be a good place to put that at? Huh? I'm thinking, I'm doing all this writing all the time. The heck with that. I'll just go ahead and key this information in. Well, maybe I should write because I can't key stuff in right. And put in and use this to key in information about the meeting. And you know what? It's stored. Yeah, it's stored. It's stored so I can go back and see as many of these puppies as I want to, because sometimes the mind is a fragile thing. It's a heck of a thing to have, as one president said. We're not going to say a president that said it wasn't a new one. But listen, I can view any agenda I want to. I can view agendas. I can view agendas, view another agenda. I can view agendas. I can view agendas here so I can go back into time, forward into time. Because I want to know if people did things the way they were supposed to do it. Did they sign up for a role? Did they do the role? Some people signed up for a role and they didn't do a role. Once again, secretary, if they didn't do the role, pull them out the agenda, because you want a good reflection of what's going on. When you have a brand new person, you didn't fill all your roles, you got a brand new person in there, put them in your agenda so that your agenda reflects exactly what you have happen for that particular evening. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because people forget they've done a Toastmaster job. People forget that they've gone out there and there was the counter. They forget it. So what do you get a chance to do? You get a chance to go to this place called meeting reports. You see where I'm clicking at? It's the third icon down, that little guy with the bald head. If he had a hat on, okay, I'm not going there. Because that's my friend. So I can run a download. And the download shows me a lot of different things. Let's say from the current Toastmaster year, that's what I'm going to run. And let me run this download. I like this. I found this myself. Well, you can print it. I'm not going to print this. But look, so for the whole doggone year, I know what every last one of my members did. This one, Anthony did. He did a lot of stuff. Look at this stuff. Uh-oh. Calvin did. Look at this. So I know what he did. I know what they did. No, Cassandra did. Yes, I do. But if you don't go through FreeToastHost, this pen and pencil stuff is not working anymore, guys. This is 2021. It's all automated. Get with the program, because I want to go back. I want to go back years from now and see what folks did. Yes, I do. Because they're trying to listen, they skipped level. They went to level 4, went to level 5, changed the VPEs, and said they finished at level 5, but they really didn't. Hey, I can see if they did the speeches right here. Look at this. Look at that. And so I love this report. This report saved us for one of our members. There was a person that lost their forms, and we were able to find out what that was based on this information. And I'm not a good note taker. I'm not the one. But with this, hey, that's why I love Free Toast Host. I'm glad Cassandra asked me to talk about this because I'm in love with this thing. This is the way to go. I think this is the way to actually do it. Are there any questions so far?
Not a question, but Marin says, laugh out loud. Amen to automation. Totally agree, Dushun. This is critical for VPEs.
This is very critical for them. But it's very critical, like you say, for the secretary and the treasurer.
And here is the question that did come in. And Sonia said, ask, how do you keep track if a member presents speeches outside of the club? How do you keep track if a member presents their speech outside of your club?
That's a very good question. If a member does a speech outside of the club, then I won't be able to put it in my Free Toast Host. If there's a way to do it, Ansonia, I don't know the way to do it. But I know one thing, if you do a speech outside the club and you don't come back to give the VPE that evaluation, you're not getting any credit for it. However, the VPE keeps that. That's how it's done in our club. So, and so while I get a chance to say this, when you go out to do a speech in another club, because I'm a club ambassador, do it often, tell your VPE you're going to do that before you go do something like that, and go and advise the VPE that you're going to club to go ahead and do your speech. Hey, I'm coming to your club. Do you have a spot? Okay. And let them know. And when you get done with that speech, you have somebody evaluate it. Why? Because that's what needs to be done. But they've got Free Toast Host, don't they? Or if they don't, you've got to ask that person to fill out an evaluation. You know what they're going to ask you? Can you send me the evaluation? What? Just go, and people use Free Toast Host, just go to the doggone agenda and pull the thing down. Fill it out. Send it back to me so I can give it to my VPE because she will not give me credit for that speech. So that's how it's done.
Hey, Dushun, to your point about it being hard to track outside of the club, Calvin put a comment in the chat box, and Calvin confirms that. He says, there is no way to do it that way. Because Free Toast Host is a club-driven database, you're only keeping track of what happens within your club. So each club would have to keep track of members delivering speeches in their club and their environment. Now, he did bring up an interesting point. He says it could possibly be tracked via pathways. If you're delivering a speech outside of your club, you can track that outside of the club speech through pathways as opposed through Free Toast Host.
That's very true. Maybe if the person changed their home club to the other club, or if they didn't, it's a whole bunch of things that you have to do. If I'm doing a speech someplace else, I'm changing my home club, doing a speech, coming back. And there's some rules in there that need to actually be done. But you're exactly right. But this is your Free Toast Host is your Free Toast Host. I can't get into it if I'm in a member of another club.
I'm sure somebody bring that to the attention of these guys because every month there's an update of something. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Okay.
I think that's important because what we've seen now, Ivy, is that a lot of VPEs are not they're not requesting that they get the evaluations. And then when you speak outside the club, we don't know that you spoke outside the club. Yeah, I spoke. When did you speak? And they send you a group of paper. Okay, I'm not going there, Cassandra. They send you a whole group of information of all the clubs they've been to, and you don't even know that club in Nebraska. But they said they spoke there. So I hope they do get that together, because there has to be some link now with the virtual world. If you went to another club to speak, how does your home club know that you did that? Or are you giving that speech to the club that you went to do a speech at? No, no. Why? Because you're not a member of that club. There's a lot of questions there. And I think that is the education that we have to give our members. But thank you.
Hey, Dushun, Maureen put a statement inside of the chat box as a potential solution. She says, not sure this helps, but maybe you can do a digital duct tape, meaning in the person's club's free toast host, the VPE could make a fake agenda, and that word fake is surrounded in quotation marks, meaning you can make a fake agenda for the past date and just put that person's speech in there so that it'll bring it up in FreeToastHost as a role, as a speech, and it can show up in the reports. So that could be a potential solution if a club wants to capture that out of club speech.
You know what? That is a way around it. I'm not quite sure that way is one of the best because, but yes, you can do it that way. And you can keep track of, remember, this is only for your club. So you can keep track of it, but your home club, the place that you're doing the speech, you're not doing a speech in your home club, you're doing a speech someplace else. How does that get represented in my club? And then I have to accept your word that you went to the Club of the Bahamas to do a speech. I still have, yeah. There used to be a way that you could take when the person did a speech someplace else, you could do an evaluation, you could save it inside of Pathways. They pulled that out. I don't know what happened with that. There was a spot that you can go ahead and save your evaluations, anything you want to, from other places that you went to. They pulled that out about 2.5 months ago. We were looking for it. Sandra and I was both looking for it. It was in there at the beginning. They pulled it out. We don't know why. Okay. Are there any other questions? Don't you think this is a nice product? So, how in the world are you going to use it? After you've done all of this work, then you came back over here, you did your agenda, and you let everybody know that you did the agenda. Let me see which one of these things, and I bet you guys can guess better than I can, faster. Where do I send all of these people in that was in that list that you saw with the president and everybody was in there? I think I'm going to go to this thing that looks like it's an email, and I'm going to email these agendas out. And when I do that, I'm going to go for it. And here it is. I get a chance to put the information I want to in here about the meeting and how wonderful the meeting is going to be. And Dushun Mosley is going to be your speaker today. And Ivy Gwen is going to go ahead and evaluate them. You can't miss this meeting, right? You can put all that in right here, and then nobody will show up. But at least you get a chance to put that information in and send it to all your members. Or you can go back the old way of getting the roster, and hopefully the roster has been updated, and hopefully you click on everybody there in the email and you paste it in your email group and you send it. Oh, you did that last month, so it's already there. Okay, I got you. But you can do it right here. You can do it right here.
And this is where I customize the emails going out. There's that drop down at the bottom. You can put the person's name. I would say, hey, Toastmaster Gwen, or hey, Toastmaster Ivory. It depends on first, last name, the drop down box down there. If you and you copy that, you put that in there, it will put their name in there as it goes out to them.
Well, now I just learned something there. Okay, that's interesting, Ivory. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
Dushun, a
Yes.
question. I know that we're getting ready to come to the close there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to mention a question that came in from Ansonia. She wants to know, can you show the other officer access? I'm not sure if you can do that logged in as the administrator or not. The other tools for the officers may come up when they sign in. So I'm not sure if you can show it logged in as the admin. And speaking of being logged in as an admin, that might take you back to the place where you need to be in order to answer that question that Mara asked earlier. in the day. So I'll look for that question as you answer
Yeah,
Sonia's
maybe.
question. Can
Okay, so
uh,
as Sonia, could you say that question again, please?
the question,
Can you,
go ahead, Sonia.
I'm sorry, can you show the different officers access? In other words, like I know the president can see everything.
Hmm.
So what is the access for the, well, we saw that the access for the VPE was the agenda tools, etc. What are the tools for the secretary, the treasurer?
Here's the treasurer. Inside of that module, basic settings, the treasurer, the information is here, dues management. And you can set notice, you can track payments.
Right, and that's what I was saying in regards to that because some people aren't even aware, especially if they've been a treasurer or are a treasurer, that these are available tools for them.
Yes.
And with that dues follow up, when I was a treasurer, that's
Hmm.
how I kept track of who paid what when.
Yes.
And it comes in handy when it comes to renewal time, especially when they open it up for the year
Yes.
enrollment.
Hmm.
So just wanted to see that. And then are there special tools or different tools for the secretary?
I don't know, Cassandra. Do you know? I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't know if that's a place for them or not for the secretary.
I do believe.
For me as a secretary, when I went and looked at that the site that had, I could see what everybody had done throughout the year. That was a plus for me. And of course, sending out messages, of course, to different people. That's a plus for me. So that's what I use. I just use different products. It wasn't a place for me to go to that I knew of. That I know of.
And Sonia, there are some different tools for the secretary. Let me log in and I'll be able to look and see what some of those are. In the meantime, Dushun, as I'm doing that, Amy was able to answer Marin's question about how to make certain the members only tab appears as opposed to being a link underneath the section. So that's inside of the chat box already. However, there is a question that came in about guests. Can guests be on that email list also
Yes, they
when you
can.
were talking about email?
Yes, they
So
can be. So you put anybody you really want to on here. Um, you know, you can put anybody you want to. That's the member addresses. But excuse me, let me get out of here. I'm confusing myself here. In the email contact form, if I'm not mistaken, was as
Oh, excuse me, I have a question.
okay. Go ahead. As soon as I find this, I can't find it right now, but um,
Yeah,
mm,
my question is because I saw in the beginning when you logged in with the password for the administrator. So I have to have the administrator. I'm the VP of membership, but I need the administrator's password to get into to access this. Is that correct?
the part at the beginning, the part that I'm in right now, you do.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. It's a site administrator's address to go ahead and get into this side of it. But you don't necessarily need this to manage the agendas.
Okay, but if I want to manage like the guest list, I saw that because I have a separate spreadsheet that I'm doing for guests, but it would be a lot easier if I added the guests and the email addresses to the free Toastmasters toast. So I'm thinking, but I need to get the administrator's password to do all this, correct?
technically not. Dushun, do me
Okay.
a
Yeah.
favor. Dushun, do me a favor. Go
Yes.
back to close out of this window here. Pamela,
Okay.
what?
Can I just say something about this window real quick, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this is where I would add my guests and stuff at if I wanted to. But go ahead. I'll come out this window. Yes.
And that's true, Dushun. The window you're in now for membership management, that's where all the guests would be added. The
Hmm.
members would be added. You can
Hmm.
take members who used to be members and turn them into more former members. So that's all in membership
Exactly.
management. Close this window though,
Yes.
because I want to go back to the original tool window, the site administration window. I think this goes back to Ansonia's question, and Pamela is also going to answer yours. The tab, Dushun, that says access settings, if you click that access settings, this is the page where the site administrator would give the various club officers access to the back office of the website. So as a VPE, as a treasurer, as a secretary, there are certain functions that are already built into FreeToastHost, and the site administrator would then assign various officers to those different functions. You'll see right now with the list of functions that are there, you can see who is allowed to access the website settings or access the membership management tool or access the custom web pages and that sort of thing. So certain officers can do so, they can be assigned, and that's when you'll end up seeing, if you are the secretary, certain functions or certain tools show up for you as the secretary, or as the treasurer, certain functions would appear. If the site administrator has not selected an officer to actually have access to any of these features, then only the site administrator would be the one to access those pages. Otherwise, you'll see there are a variety of officers listed. And by the way, only 3 officers max can have access to any of those features. So you'll see some of the features are already maxed out with 3 officers, and other features are only selected for that one particular officer role. Yet in the site administration page or window, as he's in now, which is the main window that comes in when you log in for the site, you go to the site administration window, go to access settings, and then you select the club officers who would have access to certain pages. And then what happens, because Dushun, let me double check. Right now, you're currently signed in as a member, right?
A member, but also as a site administrator too.
Okay, so close out this window right now, because you being logged in also as a member who is a club officer, we should be able to see what tools have been enabled for you. Scroll down a little bit more underneath the members only section.
And look for which one you're looking.
Okay, so right now what I see you have access to on the members only section. So underneath, let's see, member downloads is there. So I'm looking underneath member downloads, because member downloads is pretty much a standard link in that section. But now I can see membership management, assigning mentors, email and contact form, custom web pages, file manager. Those would be some of the pages that as secretary, Dushun has access to. So those additional functions, Pam and Pamela, rather, not because you haven't given me a chance to call you Pam. Thank you for that. So Pamela and Sonia, I love those questions, and I see.
Pam is fine.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you, Pam. Thanks. Yeah, and I love your questions again, because you're right. If you're function as a certain, or if you're a certain officer, there are certain functions with the website that will be granted to you. And in this case, it shows up in the members only section, and it'll come up on the list a little bit further. In the case when Marin was asking, how do you get the members only section to be up top next to the left of, or to the right of the public page? So Dushun, do me a favor, scroll up a moment. Right now we're looking at members only. Let's go back to the top of the page to the first section. So we see main section. Some clubs actually has a main section tab, and then to the right of that is a members only tab. So you would just change the formatting, and inside of the chat box, Amy, thumbs up to you again for putting in that very specific instruction. That's going back inside of the site administration page and simply changing the setup of the page. So when Dushun started the session saying, if you want your page to look differently, these are some things you can do, that would be one of the differences. We just simply kept it in that long line. The main section is first, scroll down underneath the member login information, then you get to member only. Some clubs want it both up top and they're side by side to each other.
I just want to say one thing though, in the membership management, when you start assigning people to roles to do certain kinds of things, be very, very careful, because I've been in situations where it caused a huge amount of problem where the president said, wait, I should be able to go in there and change anything I want to. I'm the president. And you say, well, no, you're not the secretary or the VPE. So no, you don't get a chance to do those kinds of things. And it caused some problems. And as you go from administration to administration, they better know how to work free toast host too, or somebody, or has to be a transition meeting to say, these things need to be changed now, or need to be added now, or the person who's our VPE really doesn't know anything about computers. So we're going to have the president do that. So you got to be very, very careful. Those pieces have to be changed all the time. So I tend not to really talk about them as much. But since you brought that up, I don't want, it can cause a problem if it's not changed back, or you're not giving people access, and the person who just left your club, and now nobody knows how to change it back. So be really careful making those changes.
Good point. Well, can you actually believe we only have 60 seconds left? 60 seconds left. Everyone, what I'm doing right now is just simply reviewing the chat box to make certain that we did not miss any of your questions that you had for Dushun. And I don't see any questions here, but I do see a lot of good comments. And I appreciate that you all were appreciating what Dushun said. When you have too many cooks in the kitchen, it can cause confusion. When you don't have the right people in the right roles, or the right, the right assigned features to those different roles, it can also cause confusion. So great job, everyone, in picking up on that. And Marin, thumbs up to you. I'm doing it visually because I'm simply looking at the chat box and not looking at my reaction icon, but I'm giving you 2 thumbs up here because I see in the chat box you went in literally while in the moment and was able to make that change and bring up that members only tab, or I should say make the members only section a members only tab right next to that main menu tab. So that's good. Thank you for sharing how you were able to switch that
Way to
for
go.
your
Way to go.
for
Way
your
to go.
club there. So nice, good. And thank you
That's enough.
everyone. Yeah, thank you everyone for the compliments that are coming into the
Thank you.
chat box. Of course, I don't want to end without having your questions answered. Therefore, and I'm okay if I go a little bit extra. If you have to leave, you're more than welcome to do so. Yet if you do have a question that we didn't get to, that's what we're here for. You can feel free at this point, unmute your microphone and let us know what your question is if you still have a question, and therefore we can get that answer before we officially close out.
Hey, Cassandra and Dushun, it's
Yes.
Marin again. I know we were a little puzzled that the documents disappeared out of Basecamp for a while. They might be back.
Did it come back? Okay, because
maybe. I just logged into Basecamp, and that page that comes up now, if you scroll like the very bottom right, it says My Documents. And I can actually upload something there now.
So I think maybe somebody complained because we were wondering.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a good spot because that, we can store documents in there so you can see when they go to other places. So that would be a nice.
Yes, and that kind of touches on the question about where do you put stuff if the member of your club gives a speech elsewhere. Like the Basecamp managers could actually go in and see some of those documents for their members. So that would help.
That would help.
In that regard.
I know in our club, our VPE, it doesn't make any difference where you did it. You better come with the evaluation form. You can take a picture of that. You can take a picture of the evaluation form if you'd like, but don't forget to send it to her because that's the only way you're going to get credit for it. So.
Paper trail, got it.
I mean, I think that's a really good way to do it. I mean, it's cumbersome sometimes, but I think it's necessary a lot of times. And for people like you, when I say people like you, people that do different things, or pathway gurus and stuff like this, we do speeches all the time out of the club. And then we forget to ask somebody to go ahead and give us an evaluation. And then when we do get the evaluation, we got to find some place to put it. But then, what evaluation do we send them? It's some other questions there that need to be answered on that one. But yeah.
Yeah, good point. I'm always trying to figure out what pathways project I can use for any given
Yep.
presentation.
Yep.
This was a great session. It's a lot of information, but I don't think we covered everything.
No, it's more stuff.
Yeah, this tool is robust. It's just a bit. It's got a lot of things in it.
Got a lot of stuff in it. If I'd spent longer time on those some of those tabs, I mean, it could take a long time. But you got to be ready to do it because it's so much information. If you're not ready to do most of this, all you want to do is just the agenda. Then all the other stuff I gave you at the beginning is like, I'm not trying to do that. So it depends. It almost has to be broken up into different kind of sections. What are you going to do? Are you interested in doing the administrative stuff, or are you interested in just doing the agendas?
Well, Dushun, I know doctors are starting to make virtual house calls now. Do you make club calls?
I actually, I don't, virtual, yes, I do. Personally, I do, because I'm a Pathways guru. So yeah, I do. Why, do you want me to come to your club?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, put your name in the chat box. And what? Okay, you're in the South Division, obviously, right?
Yes.
So what area are you out of?
53.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I gotta do what I gotta do. Hey, look, it's not a pain. It's not a pain. I'll go. I'm saying that not only because Ivy's on the line, but no, I know I'm true. I'll come to you anytime you need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, lots of comments, Dushun, about
Okay.
FreeToastHost being a very robust system. It's a very robust tool. Thanks for sharing. It was a lot of good information. It was a lot covered, yet people did appreciate the information that was being covered.
Okay, I like to do one thing though. I'm going to come out this screen and all, because I do want to do just one small thing here before we go, and that is to get into my chat. I guess I could have done it before, but send to everyone.
How about you send it to me, Dushun, and when I send the replay of the recording, I'll make certain they have the link. So that would be
okay. So, but there's a link. I put it in. I'll send it to you too. Okay. I'll send it to you too. If you go to that link, that's the link of my presentation. So you'll see some other links in there afterwards, and I will send that to you, Cassandra.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you so much for being with us. This is the first time I've tested out doing this program on a Sunday afternoon, and it appeared that it worked out well for many of us. Those that did not physically attend knew that it would be recorded. That means within the next 24, 48 hours, you'll receive the recording, the replay. Yes, and Sonia, I know, football. Yes, and I appreciate those of you who stepped away from football for a moment to be with us, and I'm glad that it was worth your while. We appreciated all the questions you asked, all the comments you made, and even being able to test out everything in the moment. So again, thank you so much. I'll tell you, in 2 weeks, I'll be back on a Sunday, and hopefully it won't be interfering with football, because they should be preparing for the Super Bowl by this point. But if you're interested in knowing how to do virtual club recruiting, I will feature another speaker at that program, another former trainer from Summer TLI, and that will be Mr. Calvin Gibbs, who's also a D103 preferred trainer. He will be teaching you more about how to recruit and gain members in a virtual club environment. So that registration page will open up. You will be able to sign up for that in another couple of days. So keep a lookout in your email, and of course, share as much as you can. Everyone, thank you again so much for being with us. Dushun, thank you for taking the time for being with us, because I know usually being a musician on a Sunday, you could have been somewhere gigging, and maybe you and Jack could have been gigging together, right?
I could, yeah, because those guys call meetings and
it would have.
Yeah. Jack could awesome. He might be there. Where's he at anyway?
He took a walk. He took a walk, and I don't know where he went. So.
Oh well, maybe he won't come back. You'll be like,
well, hey everyone, John keeps referring to Laurel's husband, and Dushun and Laurel's husband have been a part of several bands together, but they both are a part of a band called the the Dave Gordon Quintet. They are awesome. And maybe one day we'll have an opportunity where District 103 will be able to hear them. You had a chance to hear from Dushun and Dave Gordon at the last spring conference, which was Spring
Yes.
Conference 2018. But hopefully we'll be able to have the full Dave Gordon Quintet do something for District 103 to give us some more learning and education and entertainment, mostly, right?
Field trip.
Field trip. Awesome.
Someday we'll be doing that again.
Yes.
Yes, maybe one day. Okay.
So, everyone, have a great Sunday.
Thank you
and
all.
We'll see you
Thank you.
on-
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so
for listening.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Take care.